this morning. Looks like the sun is out, so it'll probably be the sunglasses day. Yeah, definitely. As you can see, Poe is still here with us. Because we lost the, I think it was Tuesday last week, and this week because of Juneteenth. And I didn't get the extra video in to make up for the missing week. I'm just gonna do another week with Poe. So I hope you guys are doing awesome. It just, when I found out that somebody actually was watching these, I kind of like almost froze. It's really, really weird that, you know, all I do is talk about like how nobody's watching, and then when somebody says, oh yeah, I've been watching those videos of yours, I go, whoop. Well, it's not true that nobody's watching. People are watching, and obviously the best people are watching. But it's awesome. It actually makes me feel really good that that's happening. I'm sorry I've been a downer for a bit. Who knows, that could be part of my charm. I don't think so, but I just try to be honest. Honest about my feelings, honest about everything. Yeah, it's like when people, you know, are really, really nice to my face, and say mean things and bad things and, you know, all that other stuff, and then when I confronting them is probably the wrong word, it's probably the wrong way to say it, but when my presence is there, we're in the same presence, and they know that I know, it's like I get ignored. It's like you weren't ignoring me before, but now you're going to ignore me now. Is this like your way? I don't know what it is. I don't play those games. It's so stupid. Life's too freaking short. I just don't understand it. You know, you don't like me, don't like me. I mean, I'm definitely not for everybody. I'm definitely not on the same freaking wavelength as everybody. I'm definitely not playing the same game as everybody. Yesterday, all I did was talk about like how, you know, moderators and what I should be doing and how I should be, you know, this, and people were like acting like, oh, you're an affiliate, so you do something. It's like, I'm not an affiliate yet. Then they were talking about like cutting down on the videos, the number of videos, and it's like going, you have to have a certain number of hours in. I don't know, maybe they're thinking that when people start, they're not going to have like, 25 hours in right away and stuff like that. It makes no sense to me. The whole thing said 0, but when it says 1, I think that's me. Because I'm watching my own stream. But I'm very scuffed, and like, it just seems like I should be doing something more. Maybe I should have a layout. Maybe I should have, this. I don't know how, like, I have a 3D, a Vroid model that I should be using, and I'm not. And I'm still using just a picture. I'm not even well, it is PNG. I mean, I am a PNG tuber, but I'm not even using like the chat activation for it, because I don't know how. I don't know any of it. And yeah, like I said, when I'm asking people for help, and they're giving me advice. I should be grateful that they're at least giving me advice, but they are not giving me useful advice, and some of them are just outright giving me wrong advice. I mean, flat out, just absolutely, that is not how it works. Wrong advice. Obviously, the person I wanted to be my moderator just doesn't have freaking time to do anything. And I don't know why I'm pushing so hard, because I'm going to have to start a second job in order to keep afloat. I'm going to have to stop most of this. The only thing that's probably going to be salvaged is the morning commute. see, like, oh my god, my handwriting's atrocious. Part of that is because I'm not drawing with a pencil. I'm drawing or a paintbrush or anything like that. I'm drawing with a mouse, which is clunky and not. I don't know if I had a stylus pen. What happens when I get to the end of the thing? If I lift the pen up and I move it up, does it move? Can I keep the pen where it was? That little box. That little box that you have to draw on is not a lot of room. But I don't know. Here I am, like, being disparaging of something that I have no idea. How that works. I have used it once in my life, and it was so long ago that the stylus pens have changed so much. It's an amazing thing that they're and will it react with a mouse? So can I do things like scroll down and scroll around with my right hand while I'm drawing with my left? Now that might change everything. Sculptors work with two hands, so as much as I say I'm left-handed, when I sculpted, I was using both hands. It was all hands on deck. Also using elbows and freaking even my knees. I think of it more like sculpting. And less like painting. I mean, that can completely change how we're drawing. Completely change how I do pictures, and completely change how my pictures will look. I mean, it's already like very apparent how different my pictures look, because I'm used to drawing things in a permanent, I draw in pen. I don't usually draw in pencil. I draw very permanent. Oh, yeah, it's gotta. This is the first and last time I'm going to have this up here. It's because I wanted to like try to show off your face. it's kind of exciting because I don't know. But I don't know. Like I said, my yard is very different than what it would normally be like. When I have the ability to a race. If you see my pictures, you know that I'm racing like crazy. I don't have to commit to a line. I'm going back, I'm erasing whole lines, whole things like that. I'm going forward and then taking out the parts that I don't like. I'm not drawing over. That's something I'm used to doing. Doodling has been affected by it too, so there is that. I'm doing corrective lines. I'm doing the line that I want to have, as opposed to the line that I drew. A few cases, it becomes several lines. But unlike where I'm working on Adobe, it's all those lines are permanent. Starting to work with the blur tool and the blending tools and all those wonderful things. Still haven't figured out how to get the dissolve to work the way I want it to do, so it just feels too pixelated is probably the best way to say. Every time I use dissolve, it doesn't seem to dissolve it the way I want it to do. I want it to be a smooth dissolve, as opposed to a pixelated, almost Tron getting sucked into the machine thing, which I guess is what it was for. So I guess I probably won't. I might use it, but I'm definitely not going to use it as often. I did a cue called Whoop, very digital character. And I hand drew all the digitizations. Because I really couldn't figure out how to make them work. Came out clunky, but I mean that's how the profile picture is. So I mean that would be the closest that I've come to a dissolve, and I didn't even use dissolve. I just drew it that way. But I'm definitely in it's definitely a weird. I definitely feel like I'm transitioning, and I definitely don't, the people who have literally been my heart and helped me through and stuff like that, definitely don't want to leave any of them. I don't want them to ever think that I forgot about them or I don't think about them. Maybe I didn't talk enough smack about them. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm ignoring them at all. Even as I transition, and even as I move on to different pushing to try to be a part of the group activities that this community I belong to. I've been pushing to join the group activities that, because if I don't, I'm already like, not part of most of the conversations that are happening. So basically, this is kind of like my last ditch effort to try to be a part of, what's happening. And I really admit, people think like people say like going, oh, well, Sean, you always belong. I'm like, you don't understand. It's not that I don't physically belong to the group. It's not that I'm not physically a part of the group. I don't feel like I belong, and I don't feel like I'm your cue. I don't think that makes sense to anybody. I don't think they understand like what it means. And in turn, because I don't feel that I'm your cue, you're not mine. This isn't my home. And going back to the streamer that started me on Twitch in the first place, I thought that was my home. But it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just a few things or even a few things. It was that the home that I thought I belonged to didn't exist ever. And they reminded me of that. The moderators, the people in the chat, and of course the streamer. They reminded me that this isn't my home. And that is, and just so you know, that has affected me going forward. Because I didn't think it was common when I first heard it, because it's what brought me in. It actually brought me to tears when the streamer said welcome home, because that's what I've been looking for. That's what I wanted. But now it's so commonplace. I go into pretty much any other stream and everybody's welcoming me home. And it's because of this stream. It's because of this streamer who originally welcomed me home that I don't feel like I belong. That welcoming me home doesn't signify that. I know that it sounds very selfish of me to say this, but when I'm chatting with this and making comments, yes, a few of them can fall by the wayside and everything like that. But if I'm completely ignored for long stretches, like, is this where I belong? I don't need to be ignored. And I'm well aware of like joining the conversation as opposed to starting a conversation. There is no question that is something that I do all the time. But I mean, I'll be here as long as they'll have me, like in that way. I will give as much as I can give. it's, I definitely think that when I lost my freaking mind over what happened the first time with Twitch, when I lost my mind, the reaction, I think everybody gave me perfectly normal reactions. People reacted the way, this is this something that we want to spend our time with? Their time is precious, and I totally understand that. And maybe they deemed me a waste of time. But once I'm deemed a waste of time, like, hey, just don't hold on to me. I can go, it'll hurt, and I won't like it, but let me go. I'm gonna let you go. There's a lot. I'm not even gonna bring it up because it's not just one or two streamers or people or anything like that. It's a lot. It's communities that I'm not a part of anymore, and it was because I lost my mind. And almost all the communities that I belonged to prior to losing my mind last year have never been the same. It's not the same. It is completely different. And people have grown, and people are doing their own thing, and like this, and they're not growing with me. There's a few that I still have a decent relationship with, and I'll even go so far as to say a friendship with, and I enjoy it very much, and I use it for what it is. Just wanted to go there, didn't you? But it's all going to change. And when, even the ones who are watching the video, when our relationship ends, when this relationship that we currently have ends, will we have a new one? Will a new one take its place? And will we still be, friends together? Yeah, you see her face. Yeah, so, it's like why I like switching out co-hosts. Because it's that. It should be a recognition of that. So you're not seeing every video that comes through here as the same thing. And we're making different videos each time. Oh, Saturday was hard. Saturday double was definitely hard on me. Um, and I don't like doing it, but man, is it worth it? It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth the price of admission. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna go into work. Um, but wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a wonderful time doing it, and I hope that um, you're laughing. I hope that some of the things that I do you find funny, because that's really what my goal is. My secret agenda is just have you laughing. I'm it's just I'm a worry word, I guess, but I want it to always be fun. I think what it is that I am realizing that um, in order to maximize the fun, there's all this stuff that has to get done. And when I started this channel, I was kind of like going, I don't need to do any of that shit. I'll just turn the camera on and let it roll, and then like certain things happen. I have to do sound checks. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to the room that I am, and this is very different because I'm in my car, but the room that I'm in with my microphone that I bought specifically for streaming, which has been cutting out because I am scuffed. But the room matters. Where I am in the room matters. Everything. It's like everything. There's a reason that I now do all my music videos in one room as opposed to up in the lab or um, in the office. I do everything in just one room in the library. It has the best, the sound quality comes out the best there. Um, has good resonance, which I know that most people don't. It's really difficult to tell. And I sing a lot of my favorite songs in the lab, which it shows. The dull tones that didn't quite make it, and it and completely what do you call it? It's not on the same level as where with the music. You either had the music too loud, or I was too loud, or you can barely make out the things. Either one. I mean, I really spanned the gamut on that one. But it was each one I learned a little bit more. Each one I pushed a little bit harder for the next one. And I came up with a pretty decent system. Like Cookie is a pretty good example. Giraffe Love is a really good example. The covers that I've been doing are also good examples of like how improved I am over where I was, and a lot of things are changing. Um, I have to get better equipment. That has to happen. There is no way I'm going to be able to continue streaming without better equipment. And I am literally playing, roulette with my streaming. And it might only be like getting 50-50, but my odds are getting stacked against me every time I stream. Every time I turn my computer on, might be the last day I stream. And I'm still pushing way too hard. My computer is, the backup computer is now overheating because I'm pushing it way too hard. I'm going way too long. I mean, I don't see myself doing 36-hour videos anytime soon. But man, am I pushing this? I'm pushing it really, really hard. I just did an 8-hour video yesterday, and my computer was just like, no. Two hour videos seem to be fine, and right around the 3-hour mark is usually when it cuts out anyway. Usually before the 3-hour mark, the video will cut out. The computer will just say no more. The other good news is that my internet connection is definitely better than what my computer can do, which is a nice thing. Actually, I think it's probably about even now, which is a nice thing. If you've seen this video all the way to this point, put the cool beans in the comments below. I appreciate it. Comments are everything to me, actually. So if you don't even want to put cool beans, you can just put any comment, or just say hi. That does really mean a lot to me if people do that. And as always, cool beans. All right, take care of yourself.